Hey guys, it's me, the HEMA Reviews guy. Today I would like to talk about a very controversial topic, which is the rule sets or the types of rule concepts within HEMA. This means I would like to address the double hit rules, the afterblow rules, and the right-of-way rules. Now, I know that this is very controversial. I know that people have various ideas on how this should be performed. I will provide, of course, my own opinion. I will also attempt to highlight the pros and cons of all of these types of rule sets that I can see. So without further ado, let's get down to it. Now, first of all, I would like to explain, because there is some misconceptions, some misunderstandings as to what the right of way or priority rule actually means. A lot of people seem to think that it means that if somebody attacks, if somebody starts their attack, their opponent is not allowed to attack. That's actually not true. If you have the right of way and you attack, the opponent is still allowed to attack you back. However, in the case of a double hit, and only in the case of a double hit, the attacker gets the point. The rationale behind this is that in a martial setting, so in an actual fight with sharp swords, you have a mental block preventing you from attacking into an attack because you know it's unsafe. Your priorities aren't to score a point. Your priorities are to get out of the fight alive. And your secondary priority is to injure, maim, hurt, or kill your opponent. In competition, this isn't true. The primary objective is scoring points. Therefore, you do need some sort of a fail-safe, so some sort of a rule that will punish not defending when you are being attacked. This is the right-of-way rule. So if you do not defend and you force or get a double hit, the one who initiated the attack gets the point, because you, as the defender, you who started later, which means you are in the Nach in the German tradition, you should either defend or perform a single tempo, two tempo, whatever type of action that keeps you safe while injuring, maiming, killing the other person. Yes, you might come across a person that will completely ignore any sort of attacks from your side. However, this type of fighters with sharp weapons, I have no idea, and nobody knows how many there would be, and so on. But I would wager that the number is really, really, really small. And those that would do that, I think, are of a lower skill level, so simply bull rushing you without any regards for their own safety. So you should be kind of able to defeat them with higher skill. But then again, that's true for anyone. So this is my view on the right-of-way rule. It is an extremely valuable tool for making people defend themselves, for making people who train for competitions, for making coaches prioritize defense over attacks. And it's something that I think we sorely need as a community. Now, the other thing that we have, which the right-of-way directly addresses, is the double hit rules. And a lot of people have suggested that if there is a certain number of double hits in a single bout, both fighters should be eliminated. And I see this as problematic. Maybe not right now, but in the future it could definitely be problematic. The reason is it's easy to force double hits. It's really not difficult. Somebody attacks you towards the head, you attack the leg, you'll get a double hit. And it's not something we should encourage, because if we'll ever have teams, and we probably will, maybe, it will be easy for someone of a lesser skill level to try and, if we say have up to 8 points, to try and disqualify someone from an opposing team that poses a threat, and so on and so forth. If it's not teams, if it's just, well, it is going to be teams, because people from one club are going to be competing and there's going to be more of them, so they could just sacrifice one person to take out another person. And That's dirty tactics. I don't want to even give HEMA the option to start doing that, which is why I dislike this idea. I also dislike the idea of punishing double hits by punishing both fencers, because usually it's not the fault of both fencers. In my opinion, at least, it is the fault of the fencer who did not defend when they saw they were being attacked. Yes, there might be exceptions to this, so both fencers might start their action independently of each other. They start a very quick Vorschlag, they both get hit. Sure, and in this case, personally, I have no problem with actually just calling double hit, saying it's both of your fault, nobody gets a point. But again, this is something that we should debate as a community. And giving a point in double hits is again, to both fencers, is again problematic because, again, forcing a double hit is relatively easy, and you give an extra advantage to the one who has gained 7 more points, because he can simply force a double hit after double hit after double hit and win a competition by that. So I would actually call this gaming the rules, because you need a lower skill level to force a double hit than to score a clean hit. And now to the afterblow rule. I find the afterblow rule extremely strange. I understand what it wants to achieve. It wants to make sure that the attacker, when they attack, also defend themselves so that they are also covered. But at the same time, what it does is it prioritizes the defense for the attacker and the attack for the defender, because the defender isn't punished for attacking into an attack, so to speak. So if he sees that, oh crap, this guy is so much faster than me, he's better than me, he's more physically fit, I'll just keep on forcing double hits until I get a situation that fits me and then attack into that. This is somewhat like in Moscow, in regular fencing this year, when a fencer won by he wasn't really comfortable with the other fencers' really long range attacks because they were fast, they were dangerous and so on. So when he saw him starting the long range attack, he dropped his saber. And by doing that, by dropping his saber, that meant that any hit that would be scored would be invalid. And that's playing dirty, and I dislike it. I don't think we should have rules that allow for playing dirty. And in my opinion, the double hit and, to a large extent, the afterblow provide a much larger window for playing dirty than the right-of-way does. Now, the weighted afterblow does cover some of my concerns, but not all of them, so I am not as biased towards weighted afterblow as I am towards a regular afterblow, but I still think that we should have the afterblow as an afterblow, so an attack that happens after the attacker's action has been finished. For example, if I am in a flug and I go into a stab, and the other person sees, all right, he's in a flug, he's going to stab me, he sees I started my stab and he goes into a Schielhau, and I hit him, so I stab him, and it goes, bam, first point, bam, his point. Should this be counted as an afterblow? Because the opponent said, okay, I am going to attempt a single tempo counterattack. He fails that single tempo counterattack, whereas I did not fail my attack. I hit my attack. However, the defender decided to put equal priority both on attack and defense, and he failed with the defense part. So he did fail a part of his objectives, whereas I basically didn't fail a part of my attack, because part of my attack is primarily to hit. And all right, I did fail the secondary objective. However, the defender had a shared objective, so he failed harder than I did. And I know this is weird, I know this is basically philosophizing already, but I think this is an important distinction to make. The risk/reward factor that we need to factor into the equation of the rules. In the case of the right-of-way rule, the one who failed his single counteraction is punished, because he gives a point over to the opponent, and I think that's a good thing. Whereas if he would successfully have completed that action, he would be rewarded with a point. And this is something I think is a healthy combination. I don't think the weighted afterblow, for example, here, if the torso, if I step into a torso and the torso is worth 1 point, and I hit him in the torso and he hits me in the head, I get 1 point, he gets 2 points. Even though, as I said before, he failed slightly harder than I have, but he's still rewarded. And this is a smaller problem because you take it into account. You always take these things into account, and you will prioritize different targets, and that's actually not a bad thing. Prioritizing the head is it's a worthwhile goal, I think. So I have much less of a problem with that, but I still have a slight problem with it. What I propose we should do with the afterblow is we should count it again as an attack that was finished in the tempo following the attacker's tempo. So if I go stab, the opponent attempts to defend, and let's say I either still hit him because the defense wasn't fast enough, or I go into Durchwechseln and hit him, and afterwards he hits me. That's an afterblow. That's defensible from my side. I can do that, and the defender still attempted to defend, which is what should actually happen. We should absolutely promote defense as the primary goal of fencing. And I would not have a problem with such a type of an afterblow. I have to thank Luis Preto actually here, because he was the first one that put forth this idea to me, and it took me a while to actually get what he meant. However, after starting to really pay attention to what was happening and experimenting with this type of an afterblow, at least for our group, it kind of works. You prioritize defense much more. However, again, we are a relatively small sample size, so it would be good if more people try this and saw how it works. Ideally, I would love to see a rule set incorporating both the right-of-way, so in case of a double hit, you have the right-of-way rule, and the afterblow rule, so as to force the attacker to defend after an attack. But the afterblow in the sense of an attack that follows the tempo of the attacker. This would be extremely, extremely difficult to judge, however. So I think that starting with a simple right-of-way rule or a modified right-of-way rule, whatever, but simply forcing the defender to actually prioritize defense more, and then moving on from there. So for example, experimenting with the type of afterblow I just described would be extremely beneficial for HEMA as a sport, and it would bring it closer. The skills required, I think, would be closer to the ones required in a martial setting, simply because you have rules that force behavior that would be more similar to that of fencing with sharp swords. I would love to hear your opinion on this. If you see this on the forum, please comment on the forum, debate as much as possible, provide pros and cons. If you experimented with any type of rule sets of your own, go ahead and please present them to us. I think it's important to have a really solid rule set we can build everything else upon. So I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed yet, of course, subscribe. Debate as much as possible. And thank you for watching. Until next time.